allegedly. Heard on a television program a long time ago, he was a public defender, and the guy said, and I'm trying to remember who the heck
Marshall.
E.G. Marshall. Yeah, that's right, E.G. Marshall. He said nobody should die without winning at least one victory for mankind. Great idea. And of course that has been an inspiration to me for a long time, and especially after seeing what Dr. Batman Gellage did for the lives of so many people around the world. I'm asking you to help us. We really need help, because there's a handful of people working on the Watercure, and there's hundreds of thousands working to perpetuate the problems. I guess is what happened. Not bad people, but you caught up making money, and we forgot about it being a decent human being. I'm asking you to help us. A lot of you people know that the truth of the Watercure. You've seen people get well. You've felt it yourself. We need you to tell the world. Tell everybody about it. We got to get everybody on one side. Our country's going down the tubes. Why? Because we value money more than people. Please do everything you can, and it won't cost you a cent, and the whole world will win. Anybody in the news media listening out there? Come on, you guys. You know the Watercure is true, especially here in the Scranton-Wilkes-Barre, because the news media has been kind of muzzled. They can't even say a word about it. And healthcare employees, doctors, medical people are telling me, well, Todd, what'd they tell you? What did they tell you? What would happen if you told about the Watercure?
If I told anybody about holistic medicine while I was still a nurse paramedic, they'd make sure I was fired and I'd lose my licenses.
How about that? And no wonder that it's very difficult to get medical people to say anything. And so many have told me, even in the members of the news media, literally strangled. So here we are, knocking our brains out, trying to get everybody to, spending a lot of money, a lot of time, trying to make sure people know how to get well themselves. And meanwhile, people are being prevented from knowing the truth. But I always say, God made us perfect, but we sure have some rough-looking software. We need to straighten that out. Come on, news media. Let's go. We know we only live a short time. Let's spend the rest of your life trying to do something right. And if you value people more than money, you're doing a lot right. Check out CureZone, curezone.com. They've got some great stuff on there. And, well, they have a lot of forums, various different categories of health. I want to tell you a story about a CEO of an HMO right here in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. I was invited to attend a meeting to discuss how we could help make our healthcare and our, actually it was our, come on, Bob, help make the healthcare better, especially these HMOs. Well, two people who were with me. One told how we got rid of terminal cancer. The hospital told him nothing could be done. Another one, Eddie Dupree, had muscular dystrophy. Nothing could be done. Well, that was at a very prominent hospital, and two guys come over to see me after they told how they got well. They said the CEO here is furious. What do you mean he's furious? He's furious that people got well. So he wants you to keep quiet about the Watercure. If you say anything else about it, you're going to have to get out. We don't want you here. So you don't want to hear about people getting well? And this is, what hospital is this? And it's a big hospital here in northeastern Pennsylvania. At any rate, I was so upset over it. Oh, before I did anything, I said, if you excuse me, I walked to the front of the room and I told everybody what the message from the CEO. And I said, here he is, and he's upset because they told people how they got well after this hospital told them they had no chance of getting well. So how about that? Ask doctors, are they anybody being victimized? At any rate, I did get up and tell everybody what I was just told, and walked out. I bought time on a radio station the next day, WILK in Wilkes-Barre. Told the whole story. Nobody was interested. As I talked to the news media, nobody wanted to know anything. I was shocked because I guess I was naive. I thought the people really wanted to do the right thing, and I guess looking back, they really do, but they're prevented. There's so much money made on this, and that's one of our big problems. Money comes before people, and that's in everything. That's where our country is so screwed up. I'd like to talk right now, if anybody out there from the poorest nations, here's a simple way for a lot of your citizens to get well at no cost. For those who have a computer, you Google the cure for anything, whether you have type 2 diabetes, heart disease, or whatever, and you say, Google the cure for, say, type 2 diabetes with sea salt and water. You can Google anything cured with sea salt and water, and you'll be amazed because countries all over the world are really jumping on this. Well, I'm sure you saw it, we had it posted a couple of weeks ago when Korea came to an auto parts store to learn how people here in northeastern Pennsylvania were getting rid of incurable problems that the local medical system couldn't do anything with it. At any rate, we're seeing people get rid of health problems in as little as, believe it or not, seconds, such as heartburn, acid reflux. Of course, that's the same thing. Todd, don't hesitate to jump in. Oh, cramps, leg cramps. What does it take? About 10 seconds, 30 seconds?
About that, yeah.
So there's a lot of things you can get rid of real fast. The problem is kind of lost our soul. Well, look at the way our government is. It's everything. The addiction to money is what's ruining our country, not lack of money. That isn't a problem at all. Because if we were ethical, we'd have no problems. How about this one? Google Harvard Health Review. Got that? Harvard Health Review. 50 million lives saved in India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh with water, salt, and sugar. 50 million? We won't even talk about that in the United States. Well, name any health problem that's bothering you, followed by the words cured with sea salt and water. Where do you see the stuff that comes up there? Well, there are no diseases. How about that one? There are no diseases. What I'm saying is virtually every so-called disease is nothing more than a symptom of dehydration and or malnutrition. Well, of course you can't cure something caused by malnutrition or dehydration with a drug because we don't suffer from a drug deficiency. Check this out for yourself. Can you imagine? Very possible, more than possible. I believe the number one cause of death is lack of sea salt. Why sea salt? Well, Google JAMA, J-A-M-A, Journal of the American Medical Association. Death rate of people using low salt diet is 500% higher than those who use high salt. What? Didn't our doctors tell us salt is bad for us? But yet every saline IV has a teaspoon and a half of salt in it. That's the first thing people are getting. And I guess after they give people they tell people after they take a saline IV not to stay away from salt?
Yeah, because it's already in their system. With a saline IV, you're actually getting sea salt, not table salt.
They're actually putting sea salt in the saline IV?
Yeah, that's what it's made from.
Boy, that's something I learned. I thought they were giving people the crap salt.
No, it's actually mineralized sea salt, where regular table salt has only two things in it which are added by the companies. That's iodine and fluorine, in which our bodies can't tolerate a certain amount of it. So they add regular sea salt in, which has 82 different minerals.
So they were doing good things.
Right.
We got to give them credit.
Right. But the price for
it... Why do you apologize for spreading that we were giving them a bad name? That name is bad enough, but they're actually doing something right.
It's not the point they were doing it right. They were doing it the wrong way. Right now, the saline IV runs anywhere from $700 to $900 per bag.
So that's a quarter teaspoon with a teaspoon and a half of salt. What would the cost of that whole thing to produce it?
The cost to produce it, 8 cents.
8 cents. Well, that's only a 1,000,000% markup.
Right.
Well, that's yours. That's how about you? $305,000 that your HMO collected.
Right.
Or your HMO had to shell it out.
Well,
305.
yeah.
Well, what did you get out of that? Didn't they give you a commission?
I wish. All I got was drugged up and acted like a zombie.
And then they told you you'd never walk again.
Right.
Now, $305,000 failed. And how much did it cost then to get you well?
About $10 to start out with.
$10. And that was for a bag of sea salt?
Yeah.
Did you have to make any? Well, surely you had to take some drugs or something.
Not with that. I started getting off all the meds. I was on 14 meds a day.
So you got rid of that after telling you $305,000 wouldn't do it.
Right. Well, sea salt diet changed and started exercising.
Yeah.
I'm back walking.
Well, can you walk over here in front of that camera?
Sure, yes, I can.
How about that? For $10? For
Yes.
$10, how about that?
$10, I'm now running through the woods behind my house, and my 18-year-old, 14-year-old can't even keep up with me. They complain.
How about that? Why don't you ask your doctor? Hey, now your story is also on watercure2.org. Or
Yeah.
you can just Google it. Can you Google your story?
Yes, you can. Either Google my story or go watercure2.org, or even our Facebook page. Just look up on Facebook and type in Watercure. We're the first one that pops up with Dr. Batman Geller's face.
So if President Obama is watching this, then he should, and he's talking about how much healthcare costs, and $3 trillion, about $3 trillion a year. Then,
Right.
then if he came and interviewed you, in fact, if the people from Korea can come here to an auto parts store in northeastern Pennsylvania, and they were thrilled just to listen to people tell their story, and you talk to them at length, telling them your story.
Right.
And any reason why the president?
I would love to sit down with President Obama and talk about it.
Okay. If you're listening, hey, Michelle is doing great. How about her? I mean, that was a wonderful thing that she did, telling
Right.
people to drink a lot of water. You want to do one thing for yourself. Thank you, Michelle.
That's right.
All right.
I wish everybody would do it.
And then, how about Saudi Arabia? Wow, people.
Yeah, 72, 73 illnesses cured using sea salt and water.
How about that 73? Check that out. Google Saudi Gazette, salt cures 73 illnesses. Wow. You know, everybody's got something, some good points. But you know what ruins us? Addiction to money. Makes you stupid.
Well, it's like any other addiction. You get used to it, you want more of it.
Yep, that's right.
Money is power.
But they say money is the universal measure of excellence. No one has too much excellence.
Right.
And how much money do you get paid for doing that? How much money do I get paid? We have to pay to get this out.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Because the only reason that we're the good guys is because we were exposed to some good stuff. Where if we were exposed to all the crap that they've been exposed to, maybe we'd be doing all the same dumb stuff too.
I'd still be doing it. I'm trained as a nurse paramedic from the military and out here in civilian life. And I did all the wrong things.
But I do know that all wrong is done out of ignorance. Well, we have another one, but I think we better come back.
Okay.
Another dynamite story.
Right.
I always tell people, this is not for stupid people. You've got to be pretty darn sharp. You have to have an IQ of at least 1. I would say about 1.
Yeah, about that.
I picked me. I know that I can figure out a lot of things. Thank God I had an IQ of at least 1.
Yeah.
Have fun. Spread this around. I defy anybody to prove us wrong. You know, I would like nothing better than to debate the medical experts who disagree with everything we say, because where do we rank? We're almost, well, actually we're at the bottom.
Right now we're ranked about 72 to about 80 in healthcare in the world.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. All the way up to 80?
No, that's depressive because that's the higher you go, the worse you are.
Well, that's amazing with that high. Considering everything we do, we just treat the effects and not treat the symptoms.
Yeah, well, we went downhill from the 1930s. In the 1930s, our healthcare was ranked at about 22nd. Now, 2013, we're ranging anywhere from 72 to 80. That's not great. That's deplorable.
That's what happens. And we only really have one problem. Our ethics stink. Forget about talking about the economy. The economy is not the problem. Lack of ethics. Ethical people don't do this stuff. When you value people more than money, you're ethical, and you can have a lot of fun. Unfortunately, people don't realize the fun you can have when you're doing the right thing. When you see a blind person get their eyesight back, like that judge, look at all the people. Well, just like this, we're gonna interview.
Well, we're going to try to interview a testimonial that we just got. A lady up in Ontario, Canada. She had fibromyalgia for about 35 years.
35 years, wow.
Within 3 to 5 days, she was out of pain. Just getting on the Watercure.
Well, here's what she said. Hardly ever got sleep. I was in so much pain. I had to take ice packs to bed all the time to try to ease the pain. My muscles and bones were so sore when I woke up that I could hardly move. Had to exercise before I could get out of bed. I would not take their poison medicine that the doctors told me to take. Pain pills, no way. I knew it was only masking the problem, and it would do me more harm. I did my best to walk and do some weightlifting, so I wouldn't get weak. And that's pretty much, she said, all she had. But of course, fibromyalgia is a slew of pain.
Right.
All over almost every
part of your body, mainly in your joints. It can be considered a form of arthritis.
Or it could be a form of dumbness.
Right. Either way, it's the same thing.
Because, again, money makes us dumb. I don't care who we are. In fact, people ask us, well, if they want to donate money to our cause, we've turned it down. We've never taken a dime. Because we don't believe anybody should ever have to pay to get well. In fact, we have so much fun, we should pay the people who get well. Can you imagine what it feels like to see somebody who's blind get their eyesight back in just a few days? You've got to go through go do your own Googling, pick the disease, and just end up cured with sea salt and water. History will one day judge this as the greatest discovery in all of history. Not because it's so brilliant, but because it's so obvious. If you know that salt and water are the two most life-essential nutrients, why wouldn't that be the first thing you do all the time? Of course, medicine does that, but then they say, remember, no salt. So what is this? It's loving money more than people. Oh, she said here, when I found out there was no cure, I had to accept the fact that I'd be like this for the rest of my life. And it was a job just trying to look after myself. Thank God I did not have to go out to work like some people. I spent a lot of time researching to find something out there and help me. And I did a lot of praying to God to help me, as I could hardly take anymore. Many days I broke down and cried and carried on. Well, God did answer my prayers, and I found the Watercure site on Facebook. Of course, the Watercure site is watercure2.org. And what's our Facebook page?
Facebook page is just on Watercure on Facebook. You just type in Watercure in the search engine, and you'll find us.
There's some tremendous stories there. Well, you can even, everybody's known Hippocrates. If you Google Hippocrates, history of the Watercure, and see what has been done down through the ages. In fact, up into the 1800s, what was been done even in the 1900s too, to stop
right.
the Watercure, because it was ruining the pain and suffering business. But, well, let's see what else she said. Well, she was talking to Todd. Okay, she was talking to you first.
Right.
And she asked you about if the Watercure would help you. And you said yes. Oh, and you sent her a questionnaire.
I can send her one of my manuals and a questionnaire. I got the manual back, read what she put in. I advised her what to do through the manual and other things with bathing and range of motion exercises. And within 3 to 5 days, she's writing me back saying, I have no more pain.
How about that? And it didn't cost her a dime. And there you, with all your pain,
right,
$305,000.
Right. Now I'm 85% into remission of the worst chronic pain disease known to man.
Yeah, RSD. I always say RSD. That's reflex sympathetic dystrophy.
Right.
But after we found that it was so simple, I refer to it as really stupid diagnosis. I think that's a more technical name.
Right.
Well, you've been through a lot of hell, but thank God for your hell, because without that, you'd have never been able to help all the people that you have. And it's quite a thrill. I wish everybody could know this and see it and feel it, so you could pass it on and get the same joy that we get. You're really missing something. That's your opportunity to win one victory for mankind. It's a lot of fun, and believe me, it's so much fun that you should pay the people just for the opportunity to help them. Anything else we want to add here?
That's about it. We can pick up the third topic on another day.
Oh, and now she's jogging,
right,
a quarter of a mile, walking a quarter of a mile, and on and off for 2 miles. I'm 67 and I feel so young. Wow, Himalayan sea salt. I guess we also recommend Celtic, which is phenomenal.
Right.
And real salt is good.
Right. There's actually four top sea salts that we recommend. The first salt is Celtic, then real salt, then Himalayan, and then the last one is Mediterranean. Some of the other stuff you get in the grocery stores is not good quality. You don't really know what you're getting. Stick with the top 4, and that's what we recommend, and so did Dr. Batman Gellich. So you're getting the best minerals for your dollar for what you're going to put into it.
Well, you get a lot of minerals in those salt as opposed
right,
to some of the cheaper ones. All that matters, and this is what we look for in everything. Every single thing we do, we want one thing and one thing alone, that humanity wins. And that should be the objective in everything that government does. But I would say, as far as government, if I were ever going to run for a political office, the first thing I'd do is take a polygraph test. So I'd keep me straight, and then you'd also know where the heck I
right,
was. And I'd take one every 6 months, so I wouldn't stray, because it's so tempting. It's a lot of temptation. That's why our founding fathers said, must bind the hands of all elected officials to keep them out of mischief. Well, check out the Googles. Every kid in school should have a Googling everything. Don't be looking up, memorizing stuff, because you're not going to know anything. Well, that's why Einstein said the secret to his success was he refused to memorize anything, know where to find the information, know how to use it. He said all he did, he knew where to find, period. But it made him what he was. It made him to be this genius. He didn't waste time memorizing. Hey, I got to keep on going and going. That's too much. I talk too much. Or maybe you listen too much. Whatever it is, somebody's messing up. If you weren't listening so much, I wouldn't be talking.
right.
Okay, Todd. I guess that's enough.
Okay.